Hello guys, and welcome to the fourth instalment of the VOOM Hangout sessions with Crowdfunder. I'm Si, I am a crowdfunding expert, I work at Crowdfunder, and with me today we have Will, who for all intents and purposes is Mr. Customer Service on VOOM. Anything that you need to know about how to run your VOOM pitch, Will is the man to talk to.
Good afternoon.
So today we're going to be talking through a couple of pitches, first of all, that we've seen that look really good, show you a couple of examples on what a good pitch looks like, what makes a good pitch. And then earlier in the week we did a call out for some questions, and I've got them all written down here on a piece of paper. So we're going to go through a quick Q&A session. Will's going to help us out with that, make sure that all of the questions that you guys have are being answered. So without further ado, I think we're just going to jump straight in and look at one or two pitches. The first one I want to show you, and it should be coming across your screen any second, is a project called Let Us Grow. Now, we obviously spend quite a lot of time looking on the leaderboard and seeing all of the pitches that are coming through. And this is one that definitely caught my attention. And one of the things that I really liked about it was, and hopefully you can see it now. Is it coming? Okay. One of the things that I really liked about it, if I scroll down, was the rewards. And you can see the rewards on the right-hand side here. And these guys have done something really clever, and that is early bird. So I'm just going to highlight the reward there. Only 10 available, early bird reward. What they're basically doing with that is giving the first 10 backers a discount, even more of a discount than what they'd normally be getting on the Let Us Grow product. That's a really smart idea. I really like that. And the reason why I like that is because it gets the ball rolling really quickly. It builds a lot of momentum. And that is exactly what you want to be doing. So as you can see on Let Us Grow, 10 people have backed that project on that reward so far, and that's all of them gone. And everybody else now has to go up to the £50 reward that you can see there. Also on the pitch, if you see me scrolling through, I mean, it looks great. There's lots of visuals. We unfortunately don't have time to show you the video, but the video is really good as well. And if you want to check out Let Us Grow, you can find it on the leaderboard, which is vnbvoom.com/leaderboard, or /pitches/let-us-grow. I think it's a really good example of what a VOOM pitch should look like that includes really good rewards. The second project, the second pitch that I want to show you today is Cork Yogis. So these guys are currently sitting in 6th position. And as you can see when we scroll down, the thing that really caught my eye about this pitch and what I really like about this pitch is the images and the description. So as we scroll down on the left-hand side, you can see it's really well laid out. You get a really good feel for exactly what the pitch is offering. You get a really good idea of who's involved. It's very bright, it's colorful. This graphic is awesome. And it's all laid out in a very manageable way. I've seen quite a few pitches, and I'm sure Will agree with this, that are very text heavy. And what we find is that if there's a lot of text on a pitch, people tend to be quite scared and they won't read it. But what happens when you break up a pitch with images like this? It makes it super manageable. And it means that people can pick out the bits of information that they really want to in a very quick and easy and accessible manner.
And yeah, just to jump in on what Si's saying there, another really good thing, particularly with this image here, is how they've laid the pictures out. So instead of just having, one big one across the screen or the 3 small ones across, they've put a blend of the different types of formatting in there, and it just makes it look a bit different, looks a bit more interesting, and definitely catches the eye.
Exactly. So those are the two that we really wanted to highlight. I think that you could learn a lot from the rewards on Let Us Grow and the way that Cork Yogis have laid out their project. If you want to check out some of the other really good pitches that we've noticed, you can head over to the leaderboard, which you should see now. And that has, on the crowdfunding side, the guys who are raising the most money currently. And they're all really stellar examples of how to lay out a pitch, how to set up rewards on your pitch, and how to raise money through the VOOM competition, the first stage of the VOOM competition. So if we come back into the room, as I mentioned at the start, here we go. As I mentioned at the start, we've been getting questions in all week based on what do we do, what do people do with their VOOM pitch. And we're lucky enough to have Will with us here today, who is going to be answering some of those questions. I'm going to dive right in. And the first one, I've started a pitch which is voting only. This is from Julie. How do I change it to include rewards? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually a new feature, relatively new feature to the site. It's really simple, really easy. You can now enable crowdfunding on your pitch if it was already just voting only. Really simple. Go to your dashboard, click the enable crowdfunding button on the right hand side, and that then just takes you through the steps of adding your rewards and your target, so you can actually start crowdfunding your pitch as well. So yeah, really simple, really easy to do, and yeah.
Okay, so people can do that now.
Yeah,
even if the pitch is live.
Yeah, so even if your pitch is live, receiving votes, at any stage, you can choose to add the crowdfunding element as well now.
Okay, perfect. So Julie, we hope that satisfies that answer satisfies your question. If you are intending to add rewards, we obviously think it's a really good idea. Just make sure that you check out what some of the other pitches are doing, get some inspiration, make sure the rewards are really good value. Question number 2, this is from Barry. I think I know the answer to this one already, but Barry says, my video is 14 minutes long. Is that too long?
Well, the answer is yes, really, isn't it, Si? We always recommend to keep the video really short, sweet, snappy, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Keep your viewers interested, tell your story, get it across. No one's going to sit through a video for more than a couple of minutes, let alone 14 minutes. So yeah, absolutely. The answer to that question is yes. Get the video down, concise, short and sweet.
Perfect. So I think what we normally find is the longer somebody stays on a page, the more likely that person is to get distracted, right? And we all do it. Facebook notifications, emails pop in, someone calls us for dinner, whatever it might be. So we really want to make sure that the video is short, snappy, to the point, and ideally we want the person who's looking at your video to go ahead and click pledge straight after. So within 2 minutes of them being on your page, you've got some money in the bank from that person. Yeah,
before they've had to go and read the description, look at anything else, they need to know within the first 30 seconds of watching that video whether they're in or not, and whether they're going to put their hand in their pocket and pledge.
Absolutely. So Barry, 14 minutes, bit too long, probably a really good video.
Yeah,
but for the purposes of the VOOM pitch, you want to cut that down. Another question, this one's Guy from Cornwall, which is where we're based, local. Guy says, how many rewards should I have?
So really, there's no sort of hard and fast rule for this. We think a good number is at least sort of 5 or 6. You want to offer a good range of price points. So lots of different price points for different people, and also a good range of rewards as well. So different types of rewards that are going to suit the different audiences, the different people that are going to be interested in your pitch. So yeah, 5 or 6 at least. And there's no harm in having even a few more on there if you've got the products or the services to offer, and get that range in there. So lots of different people are going to be interested, and you're not just targeting one market of people. Okay, and what's a good starting point, do you think? So nice and low, £5 to £10. You want something that in there that almost everyone is going to be happy to pledge on, and then work up from there in nice even increments. You don't want too big a gap between different awards. And yeah, don't be afraid to put quite a high price one in there if you've got the value, if you've got the product you can offer, and it's going to be a good value for money. Don't be afraid to whack a high price one in there to try and entice some people who are going to want to pledge a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been flicking around through all of the pitches, and I've definitely seen some higher ticket
rewards that have been added onto people's pitches. And the beauty of having a reward which is £1,000 or £5,000 is, if one person pledges on that, if you find that right person who's going to pledge on that, then that's a massive boost towards the total amount of money that you're raising in one foul swoop.
And that's it. As long as the value's there, you know, there's every chance that might happen if what they're pledging on is going to be, you know, good value for what they're paying.
Okay, so in summary, 5 or 6 as a minimum.
Yeah, 5 or 6 is the minimum.
Start at £5, go as high as you like, as long as you've got the value to add. Yeah,
as long as you've got the value there, and always keep in mind the different people that might be pledging on your project. To make sure that you've got rewards that suit everybody.
Cool. Guy, hopefully that has answered your question. Moving on, one from Tommy B. How many words should my pitch be? It's quite an interesting question.
Yeah, well, how long's a piece of string? As Si's already touched on, you know, we want to see some images in there. We want to see it nicely laid out, not too text heavy. We don't want to scare people off with big chunks of text. You know, wherever they're on the screen, they want to see some pictures. They want to be able to see some headings and find their way around your description. But as far as how many words it should be, however many it takes to tell your story and tell people what your business is and what your idea is and what you're wanting to do. So again, we would say, you know, not too long. You know, keep it relatively short and sweet. But you know, you can use the words to tell the story and make sure you're getting everything across that you want to get across. It's all more to do with how well you lay it out and how it looks to the reader.
Yeah. So I think I'd mirror exactly what you said. I think it's really important to cover everything that you need to cover, and sometimes that can be quite a lot of writing. So if that is the case, you really need to break it up and make it manageable, just like we saw on the Corp Yogi's pitch, and they did that really well.
Yeah, exactly. Big chunks of text. Don't feel like big chunks of text if there's, you know, lots of nice pictures in there, and it's really easy to just, you know, cast your eye over it and find your way down it and pick out the bits you want to read. It's not going to scare anyone off. So yeah, to answer the question, Tommy, as long as you need it to be, but make sure it looks nice.
Okay, and when we're talking about the written description, I mean, this is not sort of a business plan, is it, that people are uploading?
No.
There's no need for sort of financial forecasts and marketing plans. It's all very sort of informal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the competition is obviously open to anyone, whether you're an established business or whether you've just got an idea. So don't worry about trying to be too businessy about it. You know, you're telling people your story. You're pitching your story to people. So, you know, try and be personal and try and be relatively informal with it, and you know, tell your story. Be creative with how you want to do it as well. There's no template.
No template. But on saying that, short, snappy, as best you can, making sure that you're telling the story.
Yeah.
And there's no word count. There's no word limit.
No.
So it's as many as you need, Tommy. Here we go. This is a good question. When does it finish? Do you know the answer to that?
Yeah. So the last day that you can actually submit your pitch, so add your pitch to the VOOM site, is the 10th of May. After that day, no new pitches will be able to be added. So, you know, if you're wanting to get your pitch up there, you know, make sure it's done by the 10th of May. Obviously, the earlier the better. You give yourself more chance of getting votes, more chance of getting pledges. But that is the deadline. That's the last day it can be done.
Okay.
Then voting closes 2 weeks later. So the 23rd of May is the last day that the public will be able to vote and pledge on your pitch. So even once submitting pitch closes, there's still a couple of weeks of work to do to drive your votes and drive people to your pitch.
So if you put your pitch up at the very last possible minute on the 10th of May, you've got 13 days to get as many pledges and as many votes in as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Obviously, if you were to put your pitch up today, then that window of opportunity is much bigger. So if you haven't already and you're working on your pitch at the moment, it's probably quite a good idea to get it up as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Time is of the essence.
And then following on from the 23rd, I'm pretty sure it's the 25th that the shortlist is announced. And it goes through into the live pitch-a-thon, and that's 160. The top 160 businesses. So that's what you need to do. 80 from each category. You need to be up there in the top 80. So if you have a look at your pitch at the moment and you can see that you're in 90th position, it's time to make sure all of your friends and family are pledging, voting. Everybody that you know knows about the pitch, and you get up into that top 80.
Absolutely. So it's the 1st and 2nd of June, I believe, is the live pitchathon event. We're going for a world record. It's going to be 29 hours, I think, of constant, non-stop live pitching to a panel of judges. So it's going to be a really exciting event. So you want to get your pitch up there into the top 80 and be at that event.
Absolutely. Okay, so coming to a close, we've got one from, last one actually, Phil from Essex. Another good question. How can I see how many votes I've got?
Very good question. So obviously that follows on quite nicely from the last point we were making about getting your pitch up into that top 80. At the moment, you can only see your rank. So you could still be looking at that thinking, okay, I'm just outside the top 80, but I still don't know how many more votes I really need to get up there. Again, a new feature is coming out very soon where you'll be able to actually see how many votes you have and how many votes the other pitchers have too. So to answer the question, you can't at the moment, but very shortly you will be able to, and you'll have a much better idea then of how much work you do, how much more work you need to do to get up into that top 80.
Okay, but you can see how much money has been raised.
Yes, yes, you can see how many pledges you've had and how much money has been pledged. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that gives you a really good indication of where you are on the crowdfunding specific side.
Yes, yeah. Crowdfunding side, you can be really clear on how well you're doing and where you're sitting. Voting side, not so much at the moment, but that's coming soon.
Okay, so that was Phil. Phil, keep an eye out for that. Votes are coming soon, but you should be able to see how much money you're bringing in, and that's really the most exciting number.
Absolutely, that's what we're all here for.
That actually brings the questions to a close. So Julie, Barry, Will, Tommy, Phil, Guy, hope that has answered all of your questions. I'm going to keep it really short and sweet for this hangout. But we will be back next week with another round of top tips on VOOM. As we've discussed, if you haven't already, get your pitch live as soon as possible. If your pitch is live, then try and get as many votes, as many pledges, get into the top 80. Keep that momentum going, lots of marketing, make sure the pitch is looking really good. And that is all. So thank you, Will, for joining us this week.
No worries, thanks for having me.
And see everyone again.
Best of luck.
Next Friday.